The year is 2008. The world economy is in shambles. Barack Obama is elected as the President of the United States of America, and De Blob is released on the Nintendo Wii and DS. And on July 28, 2008, 1 month ahead of the debut of the Star Wars The Clone Wars movie, LEGO released two of the greatest sets of all time. 7675 AT-TE Walker and 7676 Republic Attack Gunship. These sets were absolutely legendary at the time, and still are today, to be honest, and I think they're amazing representations of some of the Clone Wars' most famous vehicles. Regardless of your thoughts on the Clone Wars movie they were originally made for, I like it, but I'm extremely biased, I think that the sets are two of LEGO Star Wars' best, specifically because of their minifig selection and how well they work together. If my house were on fire, and I had time to take just two sets, I'd be taking these. Sorry, UCS Venator, too bad. So, let's take a trip down memory lane, and let's find out why these sets are really, really good. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube review of the LEGO Walker. I just bought it from Toys R Us yesterday because I saw the movie on Sunday and it was a really good movie. I loved all the fighting and the animation was really good. So let's get into it. We have this Jedi guy. He's pretty cool. He's got a cool face and a nice lightsaber. All right, who's the next guy? Oh shoot! Hang on. Sorry guys. Oh, shoot. Damn. Shoot. Oh my gosh. Right. LEGO set 7675 AT-TE Walker is based on the AT-TE from the Clone Wars movie and later Clone Wars TV series, retailing for $89.99 USD and consisting of 798 pieces and 5 minifigs. Speaking of minifigs, let's get into those. First up, we've got Anakin Skywalker.
Morning, troops.
First things first, all of the Clone Wars minifigs at the time come with some relatively controversial faces. I actually kind of like him in a weird way, no accounting for taste, of course, but there's no doubting that they're pretty accurate to what's on screen in the show. He's got some good torso printing for his Season 1 and 2 armor, along with a swanky new hairpiece that's spot on for his animated hairstyle. Overall, it's a neat Anakin, and a great one to start off the Clone Wars range. He actually came out 6 months earlier in 7669, Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, making him the first Clone Wars figure ever. And what's an Anakin without an Ahsoka? If there's one thing that LEGO Star Wars can always do right, it's their aliens. She comes with a brand new lacquer piece with 360-degree printing and some nice face and torso detail. No back torso printing for the 14-year-old with a tube top is, it's a choice, though. She's not as small or as wiry as she is in the show, but I think they did the best with what they could for the time. Alright, now we're talking. Next up is Captain Rex.
Right away, sir.
Here is a very cool minifig of a very cool character that absolutely nails the animated aesthetic of the show. He's got the works. Some great torso printing on the front and back, and a new helmet mold for the Phase 1 Clone Troopers. Mine's a bit worn, because I've loved him so much. Rex also has a unique face print with a 5 o'clock shadow, and a bunch of accessories to make sure he's dripped to Coruscant and back. He's also got 2 pistols and a rangefinder that can move up and down, plus some extra accessories like a flashlight and a sun visor. Sure, the plastic Karma and Pauldron restrict his movement, but I think it's worth the trade-off, to be honest. He just looks good. He just looks so good. What a great move it was to package the Jedi and the Clone Commanders too. You can get started on some fun 501st battles right away. All you need now is some grunts. Hey, speaking of grunts, what's this? An animated Phase 1 Clone Trooper? Well, don't mind if I do. I love these guys. They're probably my favorite LEGO minifig of all time. They are a perfect blank canvas to army build or to customize. He's pretty much the same as Captain Rex, minus his blue markings, face print with the beard, or accessories. but he's still really cool. The AT-TE actually comes with extra clone trooper gear, so you can dress up your little plastic toys till your heart's content. How fun. And a fun little alien guy to boot. It's nice to get Jeremy Allen White in LEGO form, and like I said, LEGO Star Wars always nails its aliens, and Rot the Hutt is no exception. A whole new mold for this little guy, with some posable arms that can be held by a minifig. And some eye printing too. That's more than his dad ever got at the time. A neat addition to an already stacked lineup of minifigs. And last but not least, the AT-TE comes with a battle droid, because what's the point of all this if there aren't some droids to shoot? Battle droids are battle droids. You probably have a bunch of them to use as target practice already, so it's neat to see something like the STAP make an appearance here. Plus, you can put Anakin on it and recreate one of the scenes from the movie. Isn't that nice? Now we've gone over the pretty stellar minifig lineup, it's time to talk about the AT-TE itself. It's a pretty big build, considering its relatively lower piece count, and it's a solid one for back in the day. The walker has some nice details, some stickers, prints, showing off the mechanical parts of the AT-TE and the unique red livery it received during the Clone Wars. It's also got 6 big legs to pose, and a carrying handle to pick it up really easily. The handle can also be used to attach it to 2009's Republic dropship, which I don't have, because it's $1 billion. Nevertheless, the AT-TE is packed with a bunch of fun play features. It's got lots of interior space, with a removable bay that can fit 4 troopers and weapons. The front half can seat 2 more, along with a container for your spice stash. You can also fit a pilot into the canopy at the front of the walker, along with a gunner in the mass driver cannon up the top. Speaking of the huge gun bolted to the top of the AT-TE, yeah, it's huge. The cannon has a nice range of motion. You can spin it around 360 degrees and move it up and down, although a minifig's stubby arms can't actually reach the controls. Rounding off the play features are 6 ball turrets, 2 on the back and 4 on the front, which can aim in pretty much any direction you would need. The top 2 can also be lifted to activate my favorite play feature, spring-loaded missiles that can fire out the front of the walker. It is super fun to try and hit something with these things. They just give you an oomph that the new spring-loaded shooters can't, unfortunately. So that's the AT-TE. It's a really nice set that looks very accurate to the show, with plenty of play features and interior space to have a lot of fun with. Add a nice minifig selection on top of that, and you've got a real gem on your hands. But that's only half the equation. To see why the sets are truly the GOATs of all time, we need to take a look at 7676 Republic Attack Gunship. Now this was the set to get back in the day. If you had this set, you were the envy of all your friends. If you were a LEGO YouTuber and you had more than 3 of them, you were the stuff of legends. LEGO set 7676 Republic Attack Gunship retailed for $199 USD and consisted of 1,034 pieces and 5 minifigs. So let's start with those. First on the block is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Where do you think you're going?
It's more of the same at this point. A pretty good representation of the Clone Wars Obi-Wan in that 2008 animated aesthetic. He's got some torso printing for his armor, a semi-off-putting face print, and a new hairpiece. Still no back printing, though. And you can't have Obi-Wan Kenobi without a Commander Cody.
Mission accomplished, sir.
Just like Captain Rex, he's filled to the brim with some very nice printing and accessories. That orange, it just looks so good on him. Unlike Rex, he doesn't have a unique head print. He just has the standard animated clone trooper face. Cody also shouldn't be wearing the Karma and Pauldron, which is fine, since you can take him off for accuracy and give him to another clone. I like to keep him on though. It looks like that picture of him in the 2009 visual dictionary that I would just stare at for hours on end. He's a solid clone trooper all around, and again, it's a great choice to include him in the same set as Obi-Wan. The set also comes with Plo Koon,
Greetings, my old
who has
friend.
a really nice head sculpt that's got some good printing on it. LEGO Star Wars continues its track record for amazing aliens. It's nice to add some variety into the set by giving you another cool Jedi to play with, so you're not just stuck with the main characters. Plus, no eyes, so no weird animated head print. Too bad the printing on the rubber head usually wears off after a little while though. Plo Koon didn't really show up in the Clone Wars movie. He's only in this scene in the intro, and in Palpatine's chambers whenever they're talking about Jabba the Hutt trade routes, I guess. But he had some standout episodes in Season 1, and would pop up periodically throughout the rest of the show, so it's good to have him here. He's a fan favourite for good reason.
That guy is so awesome.
Guess what? You also get another Phase 1 clone trooper.
Oh yes, sir!
Add that to the pile of clones that will inevitably get bigger and bigger and bigger because you'll fall in love with these little guys. The instructions say to give this guy a rangefinder, but you could really style him in any way you want to. Other than that, he's the exact same clone as the ones from the AT-TE, which is sort of what you want. It's, you know, they're clones. Rounding off the minifig selection is Asajj Ventress,
Come and get me, boys.
who has these unique lightsaber hilt pieces to represent her curved hilts. She's also got some good torso details and a cloth piece that goes for way too much on Bricklink. Plus, a good face print. Star Wars nails its aliens again. I think she completes the minifig selection quite nicely. Ventress provides a main villain that the heroes can fight with some opportunities for lightsaber battles with Obi-Wan and Plo Koon. Plus, she was pretty prominent during the movie and a recurring baddie in the first couple seasons of the show. And a villain. She was a villain during that time, too. So with the minifigs out of the way, it's time to talk about the insanely goated build that is the Republic Attack Gunship. If you thought that the AT-TE was great, you haven't seen anything yet. This thing is stacked with play features, so let's start with the main one, the Troop Bay. You can open up these two doors to reveal a bunch of space for your figures to bring them to and from battle. There's also a weapons rack and space for a speeder bike that can fly out the back door pretty handily. Just like the real ship, this gunship has two canopies for a pilot and a gunner. The connections between the cockpit piece and the hinge can be a bit weak, but as long as you don't grab it by the canopy, it's usually fine. You've also got some flick fire missiles near the missile pods, 3 ball turrets, and some stickers for the nose art on the gunship, which is really nice. The set actually comes with alternate stickers, so you can have the Crumb Bomber or the Lucky Leku, both of which are in the movie, and I think that's a really, really cool thing to do for customization. Unlike the real ship, this gunship has a ton of play features and details that are just to have a bit of fun, to be honest. The sides of the ship have some nice containers for storage and weapons, and the top of the gunship has a compartment for 2 drones? These are apparently the DRK-1 Dark Eye probe droid from The Phantom Menace. I don't get why they're here, but I guess I'll take them. You can also open up this panel and pull out a Bacta tank, which is perfect for transporting an injured clone trooper or a captured Ventress back to wherever this gunship is going. Lifting up the nose art reveals a mini command center too. How cute. It's just like a shrunken down version of the Attack of the Clones one. More shrunken down than LEGO already is, I mean. Finally, there are 2 turrets on the end of the wings that you can seat troopers in. It's not the most accurate thing to do, but it's a pretty cool feature nonetheless. And that's the Republic Gunship. I cannot overstate how much this set rocked the LEGO Star Wars fandom back in the day. It was like the second coming of Jesus, a really good representation of one of the most prominent and fan-favorite ships of the prequel era. With all of its play features and accessories, you could basically turn this thing into a one-ship base for all of your clones. It really is everything you could want in a gunship, except a carrying handle. I would love a carrying handle in this thing to fly around. The drones, they're fine, but a carrying handle like the one on the 2013 or 2023 version, just right here, that'd be awesome. Just right here. So, the sets are good. So what? We've arguably had, better sets before and after. Stuff like 7662 MTT, 8038 Battle of Endor. I think 75357 Ghost and Phantom 2 is pretty good. Literally any version of the Imperial Star Destroyer. The UCS Falcon. for goodness sake. So what makes these two sets the greatest of all time? I think it's because both of them complement each other perfectly. The builds are still pretty good today, to be honest, and they've got lots of detail and look pretty accurate to the show. Plus, lots of play features give you a bunch of stuff to work with too, even if they're not the most accurate. It's also an AT-TE and a Republic Gunship. They're just cool. Those are two of the most prominent vehicles in all of the Clone Wars and the prequels. The gunship appears in over half of all the Clone Wars' episodes. You could transport your troops from there to here, then from here to there, then have the walker aid them in battle or something. But I think the true value lies in the set's minifig selection. I mean, it's kind of perfect. You get Anakin,
Wizard.
Obi-Wan, Ahsoka,
Gotcha.
Captain Rex, Commander Cody, Plo Koon, 2 clone troopers, Rotta the Hutt, Ventress,
Excellent.
and a droid. That's pretty much every main character from the show right there. You could probably recreate 90% of the Clone Wars with just these 5 figures. These days, you'd have to get the 2022 AT-TE, 2024 Captain Rex Y-Wing Microfighter, the 2025 Ahsoka's Interceptor, and the 2025 V-19 Torrent Starfighter, if you wanted to get those 5. Plus, you also get a cool Jedi side character, some grunts for the meat grinder, some separatists to fight against, and a weird stinky alien thing. It's pretty much everything you'd want from a couple of Clone Wars sets, and it's a really good start to a nascent Clone Wars collection. I'd say the only thing lacking is a bunch of battle droids, but it's not too big of an issue. They're pretty common, to be honest. There were a bunch of ways to get battle droids back in the day too. 7654 Droid Battle Pack, 7670 Hailfire Droid and Spider Droid, 7681 Separatist Spider Droid, and 7748 Corporate Alliance Tank Droid were all on shelves at the same time as the Gunship and the Walker. Could also nab a couple extra clones if you got these two as well. And that's not even mentioning 8014 Clone Trooper Battle Pack, which is probably up there for the greatest battle pack of all time as well. Needless to say, these two sets are a great start, and LEGO's Clone Wars releases at the time just made them better. Compare this with other LEGO sets that are meant to be combined, or at least work really well together. Stuff like 9516 Jabba's Palace and 75005 Rancor Pit, or 75386 Paz Vizsla and Moff Gideon Battle, and 75373 Ambush on Mandalore Battle Pack. They just don't have the minifig lineups to match, and they're not as versatile or as iconic as the Gunship or Walker, in my opinion. I'd say that the X-Wing and TIE Fighter releases that LEGO do are really good sets that work together really well, especially when they come out in the same year, but they have okay minifigs. They usually have Luke, a couple pilots, and some droids, maybe a Leia, if you're lucky, which are all great for piloting the fighters, but they're not really a collection of the original trilogy protagonists. If you got 2006's 6212 X-Wing Fighter and 2005's 7263 TIE Fighter, you would get Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, and Vader, which is a solid lineup, but they were never on shelves at the same time. The TIE Fighter retired 8 months before the X-Wing launched in 2006, so it's hard to argue that they were sort of meant for each other. There's also 2014's 75053 Ghost and 75048 Phantom, which work really well together. I mean, literally, the Phantom slots into the back of the Ghost. You get pretty much all of the Rebels' crew, no Sabine, sadly, and the main ship from Star Wars Rebels, along with its supplementary ship, which is really cool. But I don't know, it's just not got that unmitigated sauce that the 2008 Gunship and AT-TE have to me. Maybe it's because the Phantom feels a bit like a bonus DLC to the Ghost rather than a whole other set, but I can totally see why someone would think that these sets are just as good. Especially with 2017's 75170 Phantom 2, which can also fit on the back of the Ghost. And, because this is my video and I get to do whatever I want, let's compare the 2008 lineup to LEGO's other Gunship and AT-TE releases, because whenever they drop an AT-TE and Republic Gunship around the same time, they're pretty much always bangers. LEGO first released 7163 Republic Gunship in 2002, and 4482 AT-TE the next year, themed after Attack of the Clones. The builds were pretty good, especially for the time, and the gunship could fold out to give you a whole command center. It also gave you 8 clones a Glub Shido Jedi, which is now Jedi Bob, a couple of droids, which is nothing to sneeze at either. No Anakin or Obi-Wan though, so I guess these were more for the clone-oriented builders out there at the time. After 2008, LEGO released 75021 Republic Gunship and 75019 AT-TE Walker 5 years later, in 2013, in another Attack of the Clones themed wave. That gunship has since become almost the new de facto gunship for a lot of people. It's got a cleaner build, bubble turrets, and hey look, a handle. How nice. The AT-TE isn't too shabby either. It just looks a little more polished and cleaner all around. It's a tiny bit shorter, with a lot of the gaps from the 2008 versions filled in. Minifig-wise, there's Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, the Clone Commander, Captain, and Pilot, Mace Windu, Common Trevor, who is another Glub Shido Jedi and proof that LEGO's aliens are always fire, guys. 2 super battle droids, a battle droid, and a battle droid commander. It's a really, really solid lineup. Almost as good as 2008's in my opinion. You get the 3 main characters from the movie, a couple secondary Jedi to support them, and a cadre of clones that would eventually kill them in 3 years. But I think this lineup is let down by the fact that there aren't any grunts, any regular clone troopers. The 2 regular clones that you got in the 2008 versions were perfect for having some disposable fodder, aside from Captain Rex and Commander Cody. They were great for hanging around, or manning the turrets, or flying the vehicles. You could do anything with them. I just don't get that from the 2013 clones. They're really good, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that LEGO's made a clone captain and commander from Attack of the Clones, but they're just less versatile than the grunts in my opinion. It didn't help that the regular clone trooper wasn't as common either. You only got 1 in that year's battle pack, 75000 Clone Troopers vs Droidekas, along with the Sergeant, so unless you wanted to wait until 2017 for them in 75206 Jedi and Clone Troopers battle pack, it was pretty hard to army build them. Most recently, LEGO released 75337 AT-TE Walker in 2022 and 75354 Coruscant Guard Gunship in 2023. The AT-TE is nice, really nice, as in the quality of the build is better than the overwhelming nostalgia I have for the 2008 version. Nice. Clean build, great details, and great figures. I never want to call a build perfect, but this is as close to perfection I think LEGO can get with their walkers. The Coruscant Guard Gunship is good? It's good. It's good. There's just something that's a bit off about it for me. I actually really like the smaller scale of it. I think it works much better from the minifigs as a playset, and it's still got the handle, which is nice. It might just be the livery, or the huge single opening doors instead of the double doors in the Clone Wars versions. It's also much less versatile than the regular gunship. I mean, this thing only shows up in 1 episode of the Clone Wars for like, maybe 30 seconds. These clips you're seeing, yeah, that's pretty much all that there is to this ship. There have been some pretty good color swaps of this build into the regular livery, which make it look a lot better, in my opinion. Props to LEGO for choosing such an oddball ship, though. That doesn't happen often. So, minifigs. You get Chancellor Palpatine, Padme, Commander Cody, Commander Fox, 3 212th Troopers, 2 Coruscant Guard Troopers, a Clone Gunner, 3 Battle Droids, and a Dwarf Spider Droid. Again, it's a really, really solid lineup. Lots of clones this time, commanders and regular troopers, very, very good. But no Jedi. No one to lead the clones. Like I said before, if you wanted Anakin, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka, you had to go and buy a bunch of other sets. It's a good couple of sets for army builders, but it still feels like part of a larger whole. And that's the thing with the 2008 sets. They felt like a pretty complete package. Felt like every set you'd buy after these 2 was just enhancing these sets, rather than completing your cast of characters and stuff like it is now. So, are these the best AT-TE and Gunship ever? No, not really. Especially for the price nowadays. The 2022 and 2013 AT-TE are largely better than the 2008 one in every aspect you can think of, and you could probably build a better gunship online for around the same price. I'm quite partial to Booska's V2 version myself, but you could also go for a color-swapped version of the 2023 one if you wanted to. The minifigs are pretty dated by today's standards too. I mean, look at what LEGO can do with a Clone Wars Obi-Wan or Plo Koon these days. But I think they just complement each other so well, and they give you a pretty complete Clone Wars collection off the rip. But I am very biased. Back in the day, you saw these two sets everywhere on YouTube, especially the Gunship. LEGO animations, mock videos, base building, collection videos. It was a staple of the era. You saw the Clone Wars in theaters or on TV, and then you'd watch LEGO Star Wars videos on YouTube, and then you'd play with your sets. You could recreate all your favorite battles from the Clone Wars in real life with these two sets. They carry just such an air of nostalgia for that early Clone Wars time, at least for me. So I guess I'm just super happy to have them after all this time. And I just wanted to make a video about why I think they're so great. I had no idea I had this much to say about them, though. So thanks for sticking around for what I'm sure will be a long video. But yeah, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play with these sets and make some new Clone Wars battles. Spoilers, these drones are actually force sensitive and are gonna kill Obi-Wan in a lightsaber duel. So, thanks for watching my video on youtube.com. Please rate it 5 stars. Bye.